Hi, my name's Orla and I am a third year student studying fashion imaging and illustration. If you're like, what is that? Don't worry, we'll get into it.
We can unpack. Hi, I'm Lucas. I'm on third year fashion photography at LCF. Currently starting my major final project and also doing fashion narratives, which is a lot, but yeah. How are you finding third year?
I'm finding it good actually. I thought I would find it way more stressful than I actually am.
Same.
Yeah, I think luckily for me, I only have one project at a time, so I don't have any overlapping units.
Oh, lovely.
So I just finished the essay and then now I'm moving on to my final project. So
have you handed that in?
The essay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I handed it in on Sunday.
Sure.
So
how did that go?
I again thought it was going to be way more stressful than it was.
Yeah.
Kind of got stressed like 2 weeks before hand in, but then managed to like sort everything out and yeah, it was fine.
No, I'm the exact same. I get in my head so much about it that it's this major thing, and then end up doing it in the last week anyway.
Yeah, that's not like me. I am an overthinker, so I always just overthink everything.
It's overthinking. It's not good for uni work. So last year we did. I'm pretty sure our courses all did like a exhibition at the same time.
Is this in December? Wait.
Or you might have been on industry placement. It was like the option to do industry placement.
Yeah.
Or there was like
I didn't do industry placement. I don't know what you're talking about now.
Did you do
the what's it called? SYP unit?
Yeah, like the little exhibition thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only knowledge I have of your course. So it was like I got to go around and have a look. Everyone's work is so... It's really not what I was expecting. I was expecting like a bunch of like hand-drawn stuff, but there was so much like creative, different ways that like illustration can be done, like digitally. I was seeing like a lot of like 3D stuff as well, which was kind of cool. But that I don't really know. That's all I really know about your course, to be fair.
Yeah, that is the most common misconception is that I feel like when everyone thinks of fashion illustration is like a lot of like analog drawings, that sort of thing. But but that's not what it's like at all. There's like, because it's not just fashion illustration, it's fashion imaging and illustration. So it's technically like any fashion image really.
Classes as part.
Yeah. So it can be whatever you want really.
Love that.
Yeah. I'd say fashion. What do I know about fashion photography? I know that you take photos.
This is the main thing.
Is that what it is? What it says, basically.
Yeah, it obviously. I mean, last year we had a lot of like new media where we were like asked to do like a short fashion film, and then the other one was like make a 3D advert for like a fashion brand.
I actually feel like our course, we had to do that as well. Our course is actually really quite similar, probably.
Well, I feel like it's the imaging. There was a course that I was going to apply to in Salford, and it was fashion image making. Yeah. And because I knew I wanted to apply to a fashion photography course, when I was like looking, I could only find like 5 or 6 courses, but the Salford one threw me because it was fashion image making, and then when I read the description, it pretty much was fashion photography. But I feel like this is what LCF has done a bit with that image making thing and trying to like push us in to the new world, I guess. We're doing a lot about like AI as well.
Yeah, we're doing that as well.
Yeah.
So we can use... Do you use AI, Adobe Firefly? Have you used that?
Yeah. We probably use it... Well, actually, we might use it in similar ways, but... So, in the way that we use AI, it's like almost a way of like building a reference image or something.
Yeah, that's what
like,
we do.
Yeah, a way of like creating what we want to make with AI, but then we actually execute it.
Yeah, we've done that as well. But I don't really... I've done it, but I don't really like doing it. I would much... No. I prefer doing my own like preparatory sketches. Like, do you know what I mean? Like I would... Or I'd rather just find like a lot of different reference imagery like online or from magazines, wherever, and then like maybe get influence from all of them and then...
No, I feel like that's probably where we differ because obviously with photography I feel like it's different in the sense of I'll come onto a shoot and be shooting multiple looks or models or whatever. So I'll use, if I do use it, but if I am using AI as reference, it will be more in like a mood board where I'd create multiple images and have that as an overall inspiration.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it is.
I don't think it's really, to be honest, I don't really think it's essential for like our courses.
No, literally. It's just something that's coming into the new world, I guess, AI. And obviously there was like a lot of fear of like creatives was like AI taking jobs from us.
Scared.
No, well, I'm not scared either. I feel like initially, like, I was quite scared about it, but I think the purpose of us having these lectures at uni is to like show us that it's not, or it's not. It's almost become like its own separate art form, like AI.
Yeah, I actually have seen. Have you heard of like some AI artists? So like, there's Hey Riley on Instagram. So and it is really. Like, it's cool because they're fully stating that they are an AI artist, but they do it in a funny way. Like, I don't know, like, for instance, I can't remember, it was one of the fashion houses, didn't they burn down? Do you remember when that was in the news? No, basically. And then they posted a picture of it on fire, but it was AI generated of it being on fire.
What the hell?
So they'll just do like a lot of cultural references using AI, but it will look really real. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like they create fake scenarios, which is, I think, is different.
Yeah, that's the thing with the fine line with it is it's like people are like questioning on social medias and stuff now. It's like, is this real or is it AI? And I feel like that's something that's come quite recently. There was never this fear of like having to question if something was real or not.
No, with this, you 100% it's AI because like,
intentionally.
It's not real. It's like, so it's using that.
Yeah,
to
there's
make
creative.
it funny.
Yeah, there's definitely creative ways of using it, which I think is interesting. But yeah, I don't really see it. I think it's also AI's brought like a new, like, found appreciation for like handwritten stuff or like things that have that personal touch to it. That's something that like AI can't mimic, which is almost making what we are doing more special. More special. Yeah. I'd say that for my course, like, I had a very preconceived idea of like the course I was going into, and it very much turned out not to be what I was expecting. There's a lot of like theory that I thought I was just going to take like photos and have fun, but there's a lot of like thought gone behind it, and something that we really get pushed to do is think about like our like positionality as a photographer in what we're photographing, and then also just these all other things that you have to like consider, and maybe not specifically like with my course what I want people to know, but just with photography in general is like I feel people see the final product and then it's just like scroll, whatever, but there's so much like thought and intention gone behind everything that everyone is doing, which I find interesting, and it's something that I never had really considered before coming to uni and being like taught about it and stuff. But
yeah, I think it's probably the same with mine. Is there's a lot of research that goes into it. Like, you have to, it's like, what are you trying to say with your image? Like, because obviously they're both, even though yours photographs, mine's more like illustrative, but they're both images, so they're like both saying something visually. So you have to think about like what you are trying to convey. And like what what your style is, or what your position is. But as well, I'd say a lot of people think, like I said before, like fashion illustration is just like drawing or whatever, but there are, even though it's a super niche course, it's actually quite broad with what you can do. Like, you've got people doing painting, you've got people doing collage, people doing 3D, people doing animation. Like, I don't think there's a course that would like be able to have so many different like specialisms in a way, but it's the same course. So it's quite interesting.
That is really cool, to be fair.
That we're all very different on our course, but like you can basically do whatever you want. Like,
that's valid though. I feel like that's fun, and it's nice that you like there's so many different like artists within one course, and you probably all have such different techniques and stuff and ways of going about creating your illustrations and stuff. It's really cool.
I feel like I've learnt a lot on my course. So like from when I started to now, I feel like I definitely have a lot more of a distinctive style, or I know why I'm producing my work, you know what I mean? Like I know the themes that I'm looking at and like, the reasons why I do certain things. 'Cause coming into the course, there were a lot of people in my course who were like, had a very distinctive, like, this is the type of illustrator I am, whatever. I did not have that, which I was actually quite happy about, because then I just got to kind of like, just naturally do it over the 3 years. And I feel like, it happened in quite like a gradual way.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, and like basically just been able to try out loads of different things to like get there. So we did obviously like animation, we've done 3D, we've done like analog, digital, like loads of different stuff to figure out what is like the right thing for you, or like what you want to do. And then in terms of like my personal's probably linked to my like practical as well, is that I used to get really, really stressed. Well, like, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so like if you're a perfectionist, you tend to get stressed about things. So I'd actually say like in first year, even though it didn't like matter, or like you just had to pass the year, like you didn't have to really worry about it. But I was not like that. I was like, I'm like, this is really important. So I'd say I probably got more stressed in first year than I have this year. And and I've just learned that like it's more of a hindrance than anything. It's not going to help if you're just like over worrying, overthinking about things. Like you can only like do your best and like
I feel like I'm quite similar with the perfectionist thing, specifically like with photography. Like it gets to a point where it's like you need to stop and like draw the line, because you can just keep going and going and being really like getting into every detail, when sometimes it's literally perfect as it is, but like
there's just it's just so much to think about as well in what we do. So
no, definitely. I feel like academically, or like as like a photographer, like the past 3 years of being at uni, I feel like I've definitely like grown a lot in like confidence in myself and like my practice. Like before coming to uni, I was very awkward and I didn't like photographing in like public, because I just get very like self-conscious of like my surroundings and stuff. And I think like being in London and at uni and like collaborating with people that is more out of my comfort zone, I'm finally starting to feel like more comfortable and like confident when doing shoots and stuff. And with like the personal side, probably the same, to be fair. I feel like literally just moving to London, like I'm from Manchester and I came to London with like no friends or anything. I didn't really know anyone, and like kind of having that like fresh slate, I feel like I've been able to like build myself up again, especially with like confidence, which was something that like affected my work as well. So now that I'm starting to like push myself out there a bit more, I'm feeling a lot more optimistic. And same with like third year. Like first year I was stressed about like everything, and like the perfectionist thing applies to me as well, but also in a way that like I would leave everything last minute, which is something I'm trying to not do this year. But I'm feeling a lot more relaxed in third year, because I feel like, at least for my course, we're finally being able to just have freedom in like what we're creating. Like the final outcome for our final project is whatever we want, as long as it's like relates to us and it's something we're passionate about. So I'm feeling stressed but relaxed in the sense of like what we actually have to create, which is
I feel like same.
As in terms of like what I want to like achieve in like these last few months of uni, I definitely want to push myself to be more creative in terms of what I'm photographing. I do like a lot of collaborating with like model agencies where I'll do like a test shoot, which is normally just on like a white backdrop. But I definitely want to like create more editorial-esque shoots and collaborate with like more set designers and makeup artists. I work with stylists quite frequently, but makeup artists and set designers is something that I feel like my shoots are lacking. But I have also just done a project on Manchester queerness for my dissertation project, and that was a completely different like style of photography, almost a bit more like documentary, which I've never like explored before and actually really enjoyed. I was also like interviewing the participants like as well, and it was really interesting to like hear their thoughts about growing up like queer in Manchester. And I'd say that's something I'd like to explore more in the future, but maybe more like personal. But yeah, definitely more editorial work, I think.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
How about you?
I actually still haven't chosen the theme I'm gonna do. I feel like I've got so many ideas, but I know I definitely want to do a zine, mainly focusing on like heavily focused on like typography, like graphic design, layout, and as well because all of my work is very like collage based, so definitely that. But I'm gonna have to do my own photo shoot because I need like for all my other projects I always did my own photos, but I feel like I need to like make the effort to do a proper photo shoot now. It's like the final project. But yeah, in terms of like what I actually want to explore, my work always is like, it always has like cultural references in it, so I was like, I don't know whether to do something to do with that, because like my last project was about like toxic beauty hacks on social media. Like it will always be something that's like kind of happening.
Yeah.
And in my essay I spoke about how fashion imagery has been elevated to an art form. So I researched a lot about like how fashion, like the boundaries between fashion and art, and like how they intertwine. So I'm also quite interested in how different art forms like film, art, fashion, like how they intersect with each other, because I like just like referencing different things in my imagery. But I don't know what theme that is.
That's so interesting though. It is really interesting.
So something to do with that, something that is responding to like culture and like stuff that is going on, but also like the wider like art forms.
Yeah, cool. Love that. For me personally, like post-grad, I'd love to maybe start off in the more easier job role to get, hopefully, as like a studio assistant, just helping around. But like as for like aspirations, I'd love to work freelance is probably my main goal, and hopefully have an agent. But if not, I'd love to have my own like photography studio where I can work out of, but also like rent it out to people. I think that would be really cool. That's my main goals as of right now.
For me again, it's like still slightly unsure, because I'm deciding whether or not to apply for a master's, because I feel like that's such a big decision. I don't know whether I want to go straight into like another year of study, like, because I've been saying this whole year like, oh, I don't want to do a master's, like like I want a year off or whatever. But I don't know, I feel like even though I feel like I haven't 100% got where I want to go in terms of what I want to do post-grad, because I'm really interested in, I've always been interested in going to exhibitions, and that's what I used for my essay. Was I've like used material culture and analysed the exhibitions. So I am considering applying to the fashion curation and cultural programming, which is actually here. But it's such it's a lot to apply. Like I went through it the other day and I was like, damn, they're asking for a lot.
Oh my god.
So whether I decide to do that or not, we'll see. And then if not, I will probably try and get some kind of, I think it just depends what I decide I want to do, like for a job role, because fashion curation, I need a master's in it if I want to go into it, because it's such a specialist skill. So it's like, do I want to do that, or do I want to do something more related to fashion imaging, like graphic design, and then I'd maybe just try and get like internship or assistant role, junior graphic design, like that sort of thing, before then ultimately trying to work my way up to maybe like art director or something like that. Definitely. So big decision. Between those.
No, literally. I feel like there is so many different routes that we can go, like as a creative,
so many options,
like, and it's really overwhelming.
From my course, like you could literally do so many things. Like everyone wants to do different things. I mean, I know I definitely don't want to be a like freelance image maker, so like at least I know that. But like, there's just so many options because you learn so many. Like I feel like a lot of the skills I've learned on my course are very transferable as well. So like,
definitely.
It's just a lot of things that you could go into, and then like you can just have fashion imaging as your like specialism. So love that. I'm in the same boat.